What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I need some sound. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
it's completely nonsense. 1 second, I'm checking on the sound real quick.
No worries.
Mm-mm.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Tell him to talk.
Can you talk real quick?
Testing 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Can we use it without speakers, or what do we gotta do?
We're gonna have to. Tell him to talk.
Can you talk again?
Testing 1, 2,
Yeah, I can't hear
3.
you. Are you muted? You're not muted, are you?
I don't think so. Let me check.
You can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me. We're gonna have Ricky on in a little bit. He's gonna jump in and out. But I'm just trying to figure out the sound issue real quick.
Can you talk again?
Testing 1, 2,
Very
3.
Perfect. We got you. We got you, brother. Sorry about that.
Sweet. All good, man. All good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just I moved into one of my old houses recently, so I feel like I'm home again. I kind of during COVID I went to downtown LA, like which was a condo down there, and was living in a house in LA. Like I invest in real estate too. I know you've been in finance and some other stuff. Do you have any real estate or?
Not really, to be honest with you. Like I own the house that I live in now, and I had an old apartment I bought 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that I just sold that I lost money on.
Right.
I was like, fuck, I should have just bought Bitcoin 10 years ago or whatever, like stocks. Like it's just so haven't really been that big in real estate, to be honest with you, but I should at some point.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. Like the only reason I think I own real estate is because like no one can come and kidnap me and take it. Right. I mean, like I could kick it, I could see it, but it seems to be pretty expensive. Like every year I gotta change the air conditioner or whatever it is. But I've never seen to like. I hear all these like real estate guys like, oh, they make a ton of money off of all this stuff, but it seems like they're a general partner in some syndication where they're taking a bunch of fees or something. But the value there for real estate, like I haven't really figured out or seem to know how to make money yet. So nonetheless, I like this house.
Yeah, no, I think it's also like buying real estate is also sort of like a passion thing, isn't it? Like, I feel like people who do it actually appreciate properties. They appreciate like renovating stuff. Like, I get that part. I get that. I definitely get that.
Yeah, the artistic part of it seems like it would be fun. The problem is I live in California, and so for example, I own a law office in here, and I've spent the last, I think it's been over 5 years now trying to get a permit to add on like 2,500 square feet to my office building. And that's how slow the process is in California. And not only that, they're making me buy and pay for a $65,000 fire hydrant and like a $20,000 like electrical pole, like to just give to the city just to be able to build this thing, which is completely minus EV for me to do.
Yeah, that's just a pain, isn't it? It's definitely a pain to do all that.
So the Liquidated for me is more like a like I've been a part of the CT community since 2012. I do all the crypto fight nights, and I love the culture of crypto. I love the people. Like love or hate everyone on CT. We all kind of love each other because we go back to this crazy pool of community and fight with each other or love each other or whatever else. But I'm inspired by your work ethic and some of the other things that you've been doing in the space. And, I kind of want to know, what's kind of your origin story? Where'd you grow up? What are you doing? And what kind of got you into crypto?
Yeah. So where did I grow up? I just grew up in England, grew up in the UK, like very close to London. And I actually started my career in finance. So like just studied maths and economics at university, went straight into an investment bank, and I was just a trader. Like it's something I always wanted to do. Like when I was 16, I used to trade penny stocks. And the first thing I ever bought was this stock called Provexis, and it was up like 1800% in a week. And that's when I bought it. And I was like on these internet forums, and people were like, oh yeah, Coca-Cola are going to buy them out. And it's exactly what CT is like now, but this is like the 20-year ago version of it. So it's quite funny to see like how nothing's changed. And so I bought that. Obviously, it was like the complete top of it. This thing dropped like 99% over the next, like few weeks and years. And I kept like averaging down on it. And I actually still own it. Like I never even sold it. I still own this like, this fucking thing that's in my like my first ever stock
nostalgia.
But, yeah, exactly. But I sort of learned that lesson like quite early, and just got hooked on trading when I was a teenager. So like ever since then, I just knew that I wanted to be a trader. I wanted to like do it professionally, and then I just sort of did what I needed to do to get to that spot.
Did you go like London School of Economics or Oxford or anything like that?
I went to LSE. I studied maths and economics there, and then
fun fact about me: I actually spent a semester at Balliol in Oxford for economics.
No way! Nice. Yeah, well, a few of my friends went there actually to that college as well. So
beautiful campus, our beautiful city.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. It's definitely very nice. Very different to London. London's a bit like going to university in London is fun, but it was like expensive. Like compared to other parts of the UK. So
I was so broke. I had to like get Western Unions from friends, and I was eating at like KFC like once a day. I was so poor back then, and they hated Americans for some reason. Like when I was in Oxford, like I got a huge brawl in Oxford Square. Like it was great. It was crazy. It was a weird time. Yeah,
that's funny, man. So I did that, and then I did that for about 10 years. So I was in London. I also was on Wall Street. I was in NYC for about 3 years, just trading. And I'd known about crypto for a long time, but I was just very crypto skeptic. I think when you're in TradFi, you don't really get crypto because you're taught to appreciate value in like a certain way. It's like, okay, you have to use this model, or like these are the factors that affect the value. And I think for Bitcoin, I just didn't understand it. I was like, well, how do I know what the value is other than just a bunch of people saying it should be like gold or whatever? So I'd never really believed in it. But I think in 2021, when you had like the whole inflation stuff, I kind of like understood it a bit more. I was like, hey, I get it, fixed supply. Everyone's gathering around saying this is like the digital version of gold, and that's the first time it kind of made sense to me. So I was late into the crypto game. Like my first time I ever bought Bitcoin was January 2021.
Yeah, still not bad.
Yeah, still not bad. Not like 4 years ago now, or more than 4 years ago now. And then I bought ETH, and then I bought my first NFTs, and I just went straight down like the whole NFT rabbit hole. And I guess it was a good time because it was like beginning of 2021, right before NFTs went crazy, and then just everything that I bought just went wild. Like I did some pretty crazy shit. Like I minted 150 Bored Apes when that came out, and I think that was like my first really big win in the space, and I think the first time I made a lot of money. And after that, I was like, I'm just like, it's so much more interesting to trade crypto than it is to trade like traditional finance. And so by the end of 2021, myself and like Mando, who's also we're working at the same bank, we just quit. We just quit doing that.
Mainly because of volatility in profit, right? I mean,
yeah, I felt like it was the similar volatility because what I traded was like high yield and distressed credit. So shit would just move down like 99% in a day. It was like you'd have like actual rug pulls, but on real companies. You know what I mean? Like real companies who would lie about their numbers, lie about their cash flows and shit. Like it was, especially in Europe as well, because it's like in random countries where no one's like, there's no rules or anything. Like, so it was the way that it traded was quite similar. But I found that this market was like crypto. I found, at least to begin with, quite easy to trade. but instead of like me only taking 8% of the money I made in a year, I was taking all the money that I made. So it's obviously a big risk because, you don't have, you lose your salary, you don't get paid a bonus, you don't have that job security, and you're just kind of on your own. But, if you back yourself and have a bit of confidence in yourself, I think there's a lot more to be made if you are a good trader. So that's what I ended up doing. I was just like, I couldn't sit there and just trade like bonds anymore. Like I had to get out and do this like properly.
I think like Wiz of Soho said, like it's an easier PvP game. Like when you're in Wall Street or whatever, you're playing a PvP game against all the Ivy League kids that are pretty smart and have like all their tools. And then you're kind of playing more in the wild West here. And yeah, I think I got into crypto because like I actually believed in Bitcoin, and I'm kind of one of the guys that just stayed with Bitcoin the whole time. But yeah, the PvP part of the game was like, okay, we had to provide value. So we had the ICOs and the utility tokens and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, is this security? There's not a security. Then the next cycle are in NFTs. Oh, we don't have to worry about that. It's just art. So we could, peddle this or whatever we're going to do. I mean, some of the stuff's really good quality art or whatever else. I mean, I own Punk. I own a rare Pepe Nakamoto. All the wetards were getting completely blasted in Bahamas. And we intentionally missed the Bored Ape mint, which was a mistake. And now we're full-blown meme coins, which is like, oh, there is no value. It's just community or whatever it is, which I still, don't get. I know you're doing one of the first brand tokens, which I think is incredible. And I want to know more about that. But and I want to know how you got in the drink game, but we'll get to that, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. It's just a crazy space, isn't it? Like there isn't really anything else like it, I think. And I think people who aren't in crypto, they're quick to call it a scam, or they're quick to complain about it and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, until you've actually started like getting involved, you don't really know like how much shit there is to it. And I think it's only like the bad stuff that gets into the press. But there's a lot of cool and interesting stuff, I think. And if you're just like, if you're a degenerate or if you're a trader or a gambler, whatever you are, like there's no better world to be in than this, I think.
Well, whatever it is, it's kind of like the Hyperliquid website where they have the terms and conditions that if you forgot to click, you will get your airdrop. But it's like, everyone that enters this world, they understand the rules. They know, in my opinion, that they know that there's going to be insiders. There's that this meme coin really might not have any value or whatever, but you choose to trade it because you think you're going to make money and you think you're going to do better than the other guy. Apart from that, like, I think there is a real use case to Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoin maxi more or less, so I'll be preaching all that stuff. But like, everything else is a trader's game or a PvP game, and there is some people building like Luca's building Pudgy Penguins community in this huge ecosystem. Some of that stuff's never been done before, so he's going down this road where there isn't a road. He's paving his own road. So, and you're doing the same thing with this brand token, and you must be confusing a lot of people in that space that you're selling all these cans and everything.
It's funny because like since we did the last drink sale, because we sold about 500,000 cans now, right, in just 3 days of sales. And so we speak to like the traditional drinks world, and everyone's just like, what the fuck? Like what the hell are you guys doing to get people to buy these drinks? And like, when you're in this world and you think about like how NFT projects used to sell out so quick, or how meme coins can run up to crazy levels, like those numbers maybe aren't that crazy in our minds because you see like where the demand for it comes from. But it just goes to show like how oblivious the real world is to like how fast capital moves in the space, I think, and how you can use it to like build IP or build a brand, but also reward your community alongside it as well. I think that's what we've been like focused on trying to do. But yeah, it's funny having some of these conversations, seeing people's like reactions or their faces when we tell them like our numbers is pretty funny. Like it's fun to see it.
And are you having like VCs already hit you up about the product, or companies like Coca-Cola, they're keeping an eye on you now? Or
yeah, so we raised capital last year, but we didn't take any VC money. It was just angels. It was just really community, friends and family. And I think we wanted to do that because we didn't want to have like loads of VCs owning the token and dumping it and have the whole like high FTV, low float stuff. We wanted to like start the token at a low price, have the community own it, and then build the story so it can like have an upwards trajectory rather than like the other way around. But definitely in the last week or so, I've actually had a lot of VCs reach out to me just for like, hey, let's have a chat. Let's see if we can get involved in this or something interesting. Which is the first time ever really for Rekt as a project. And we've been, Rekt Guy was something we did like 3 years ago, right? So it's been around for a while. But especially after that last drink sale, because it was just so far ahead of everyone's expectations, including ours, we started to have people reach out to chat about the project. And in the traditional world, I think people are still a bit skeptical, like I think we've been working with a couple of guys in terms of like distribution and store placement and that kind of stuff who have a lot of experience in the drinks industry. And I think that stuff is going well, but we haven't yet got to the stage of speaking to like a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi or whatever. We do actually know people at all these places, and we've kind of like been, pushing our story and that kind of stuff. But I think for them, it's, they still need to see maybe a bit more meat on the bone, which I think we'll do. Like our goal is like, can we sell 1 million drinks in 12 months? And we're about halfway there now. So if we can do that, I think we can start raising a lot of eyebrows, in my opinion.
When's the next kind of launch for the next flavor or whatever?
Pretty soon, man. Pretty soon. It's going to be next month, first half of next month. So it's right around the corner.
And so when you did the raise, does the raise just for tokens, or is it for like equity, or is like this the sale of the products go into like a buyback of the token, or how does that all work?
Yeah, it's a good question. So when we did the raise, the raise was technically just for equity. I mean, it was a safe, so it's not even equity yet. And we then gifted tokens, airdrop tokens to investors. And we've used revenues to do some token buybacks as well. So we've spent about 200K on buying back tokens, which I think is now worth about 700K. So there were good buys that we got there. And the token itself, right? And this is like the whole idea of like this brand coin thing. Like the token itself, it doesn't own the IP to Rekt. It doesn't benefit from any revenues. Like all of that stuff is in Rekt Brands Inc., the company, the operating company. But if the company does really well, and if let's say we go on to sell, tens of millions of drinks, and we turn it into like a big business, does the price of the token go up? The answer is probably yes, because it's a way for people to express sentiment in a liquid way, and that I think is the whole idea behind like this brand token. Like let's say you find a really cool brand and they're just starting out, and how do you support them? Well, you buy their t-shirts or whatever, and then let's say in 3 years they become huge. What do you have to show for it? Well, maybe you have your OG t-shirt and some photos and some bragging rights, but that's kind of it. Whereas here, like, you buy a Rekt drink and then you earn some of the token. And now if you hold on to that token, and if you keep holding on to it every time you buy more drinks because you're supporting the brand, let's say in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, we make this thing huge and massive, the token's probably up a lot of money. So you've actually been rewarded like quite well for supporting this brand. And I think it's like in my view, it's a new way for early and challenger brands to compete with the big boys and actually reward the community. It's like I don't view people who buy our drinks as our consumers, whereas Coca-Cola or Pepsi might, right? Like I have people who buy our drinks as our community. And we also gifted equity in Rekt Brands Inc., the company, to our original NFT collectors as well. So the people actually own a piece of the company too. So I think like my view is that this is only successful if you get a lot of people behind it who believe in the mission and believe in supporting it, but also get rewarded for it as well. Like people need to have some skin in the game. Otherwise it's kind of like, why bother? And that's the thing I think is a bit disruptive about what we're doing. And that I think is the whole idea behind the brand coin. It's like, it's a token for a brand, and people like to support brands. People identify with brands. People can get behind brands. People like to, wear brands and rep brands, but they never really get, rewarded for it. So this is a way to actually do that. And I know that people have tried to, it's not like completely brand new. Like people have tried to do this stuff in crypto before, and they've failed, and they had different consume to earn type stuff. And they haven't really worked out for whatever reason. But
to
for
me,
us,
to me, this is the first one, because you're actually selling a product that actually people are going to use. And we've been seeing 1 million founders on this, in this space, and talking to a guy like Luca, I mean, there's a big difference. You know what I mean? You're selling a product, so But what happens with these with the token? Like, is it kind of like when Lucas sells the Pudgy Penguin plushie at Walmart? Can you reclaim it for some tokens, or how did you do that?
Yeah, so what we've done is when you buy drinks online, when we sell them, you earn points basically, and then at the end of the season, those points have converted into the REC token. So that's kind of the way we've done it so far. It would be great to have a world where you can buy a drink from the supermarket shelf, scan it, and then immediately get tokens into your wallet. Like that would be I think the end goal. But there's a lot of tech hurdles to get around through that. There's a lot of security things to get around through that. You don't want someone exploiting the whole thing, and obviously depending on where you are in the world, there's a lot of legal considerations there as well. So I do think the good thing is we're a US company, and I think crypto regulation in the US is moving in the right direction. Like, REC coin isn't a security. It's a brand coin which falls under meme coins, and it's like a collectible. It's just like something that people own because they feel like they identify with it, right? So that I think is an important part of what we're doing. And if we sold equity, then that would be a security, but it's not equity. It's just it's no different, in my opinion. It's like no different to like Man United selling shirts, and you wear your shirt to rep that brand. Like it's very similar, but it's just the digital version of it, I think.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Like I don't think it's a security right now. I think it might be, depending on how abusive people get over the next few years, and then the laws might change. So we'll kind of see how that happens. But yeah, it seems like it's a free for all for more or less with this government, or Trump being in office. I certainly thought when I got into crypto in 16, 17, as an attorney with some IP experience, like in securities experience, I thought for sure most things would be considered a security, but things changed with a certain administration. But again, I think it depends on the abuses and how things go, how the government's going to approach it over the next few years. But right now they're just going to say, hey, we're just going to do it this way. We'll launch the Trump token and see how things go. And some people made a lot of money for that. Did you catch that?
Oh, dude! I lost a lot of money on RTR, and then didn't we all? Yeah, no, I'm not the only one. And then there were like a couple more Trump. There's that DJT token that Shkreli was pushing, and
I'll have a word for Donald Trump Jr. if I see him on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Exactly.
Are you gonna go to the conference?
I don't think so. I would love to. Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
How you doing?
I got the Holy Shit Bears Are Fucked hat for the evening.
I need to get one of those. Where'd you get that?
Get one of those. That's sick.
A rookie had it made a few years ago.
I still have his towel from his first fight. It's like in my little travel drawer. I save shit when I travel.
Oh, Seth, I think I probably missed the first 20 minutes of this, but I want to hear give me your TLDR 60-second elevator pitch on what you think happens from this moment right here at Bitcoin being 110, 111.
I think Bitcoin keeps going to like 120, 130-ish. Like I don't think there's like a huge amount more upside in Bitcoin here, but I am in like the alt season camp. I do think we finally get an alt season here. Like it looks like Bitcoin dominance has topped. The ETH is starting to move a little bit. Even when ETH moves, it's one of two things: either like we're all fucked, or it's maybe the start of something. And I think we could see some like very, very aggressive moves higher in alts, basically alts, memes, all that kind of stuff. That's kind
of. Eric, I'm going to share my screen. Can you have your boy?
Let me see if I can do this on my own.
I know you can do it. There we go. All right, sick.
I did it.
this is the BTC trade I put on a few days ago, and this is the camp I'm in that we're gonna fucking wick really aggressively into here, probably draw down like 1 or 2%, and then alts on that drawdown are gonna do something like fucking this. Not that aggressive, but aggressive enough to where you get like insane vol to enter for the next, like ETH probably goes to like 2,800 when BTC does that, and then it wicks back down that entire move. And then if you get an entry on that blow off from BTC on alts, then you're set for the most epic run of the summer. Like June will be so epic if you can catch the alt entry on this move here.
See, I see stuff like that, and I just think I'm not a good enough trader to time those like up and down moves. And I just think, fuck, I might as well just be long, because I hate being in that position where I've sold something and you never get that pullback. And then like, oh fuck, I got to buy higher now. I hate that feeling more than I hate buying something too early and then lose it. Like I'm happy to wear like a 20 or 30% drawdown or whatever and then just buy more. But I fucking hate buying higher. Like that's the thing that I can't get my head around it. Like which is not a bad thing, but
yeah, no, I feel you. I have accounts that I like swing long, and then I have very small degenerate accounts that I'll try to turn like 200 into a few million. Like Rookie and I do this thing very aggressively every week. And those are the moves where I get an insane fill. Like if I get, like those are the positions where I can put on 20x leverage against like, low six figures and then spin up a small account super aggressively. And that's the fun side of trading when we get vol, like when we have real vol and you're not just sitting in gross drawdown forever.
Yeah, that's you guys are good at that shit, man. Like I've tried and failed many times. So in the leverage game, I just found I'm better off just like finding shit I like and holding it.
That's me too. What alts are you in right now?
Me, I have a bunch of things. Like I have like a lot of the majors. I just have like ETH, Sol, Sui.
Are you hype?
I don't have any hype. I didn't really get hype at first, but I get it a bit more now. For me, it's a bit more like a statement, isn't it? It's a bit more sort of like a fuck you, sexes, like kind of thing.
And I mean, it is a Ponzi, right? Like in theory, with the buyback, I mean, $5 million in buy pressure a day. Sure, it can be outnumbered at times when there are more sellers than that 5 million in buy pressure. But at the end of the day, it's a tokenomic design for up, and you don't have an overhead of early investors. In theory you do, right? Airdroppers, but they're more loyal than a venture capitalist per se. So I think it's a position for convexity, really, if you're aiming for a bull market. Like it's the recipe for up in a bull market.
I agree. Like in a proper bull market, you'll just get more activity on hype, which will generate more fees, which will generate more buybacks, and it's just gonna. I think it could go to like 100 or something like that. So,
and the only thing that'll stop it from going higher is a handful of individuals from crypto Twitter who have a large portion of the supply because they
exactly.
Like, can you sell before they can?
That's like every coin, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sometimes I think it's like not even about what the coin does. It's just like who's the best cabal, like who you backing, who has the strongest hands, and then you just try and like get out before they start getting out. Basically, it's sort of the game, isn't it? It's definitely the game on meme coins for sure.
That's why I TP too early. Like I find myself, and I tell a lot of people this that are like meme coin traders or just like traders in general, that you'll never catch the top. You'll either be 20% too early or 20% too late, and that's just how it goes, right? So I'm on the 20% too early side of things.
Yeah.
I never.
What's the 20% too early for hype?
Fuck, man. I think like realistically, if all the whole market is going to do what I think it's going to do, and we're in a solid summer, probably 100 and change.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it will get there. Like I've been skeptical and hype for the entire time until like yesterday when I seen the whole like James Wynn stuff as well, and now it's like
market. And the best part about the James Wynn situation is where is he doing it? He's doing it on
literally all on Hyperliquid. Yeah, it's all on Hyperliquid. So
it's the first telegraphed $1 billion position on chain on an exchange that can facilitate it, right? As long as I think best case scenario for Hyperliquid is that he gets liquidated and the engine can actually, properly liquidate him without an insane wick. And if that happened, then it's like it's been tested.
This guy's interesting, man. Like he was really early on Pepe, but he like caught Trump, and then he seems to like time this stuff like pretty well. And then I read something about someone linking his wallets to like Alameda wallets. And shit.
I think it's fun to theorize on what his background may be, but like a lot of people have a difficulty to fathom that he could just be a degenerate, right? Like he really could just be. And like if you're in the trenches long enough, like Rookie's a perfect example of this. And I'm not going to speak on his numbers, but he's got significant portions of supply of the largest tokens. And if he telegraphed that on chain and was loud on Twitter about it, then people would be like, oh, he's an insider on Fart, or he's an insider on PopCat, right? Like they can come up with whatever they want. The only weird thing about James is that 10 ETH funding from Alameda, which maybe you can say like he was on a cap table or was a seed round investor on something. I don't know, but it's the only thing that's kind of weird, right? Like being early to a coin is not that weird. Like I bought Fart at 1 million market cap.
Yeah.
Did I hold it? No. Am I an insider? No. I'm in the trenches, right? I'm trying things.
I think this guy's like a degenerate who's done well, because you read through his posts, right? And I've been following this guy for about 2 and a bit years, because I was really big in Pepe and he was in the chats and stuff. And he just tweets like he's just a random DJ, and he's like still like peddling random shit coins and stuff. And it's like, man, this guy's swinging around like 10-figure size risk, and then he's like talking about random shit coins that like
the weird, the moon take doesn't make sense to me, right? Like it has to be a level of greed.
Or he's like pushing ref links and stuff, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? But I think it's all real. I think that's just him. I think it's just
it takes a very distinguished level of greed and degeneracy to even get to that point. And like the perfect, King Pepe Dizen?
Yeah.
You know that story, right? Blows up 9 figures, has 0, and then everybody's like, why wouldn't you put money away? Well, to get from low 4 figures to 9 figures, you have to have a sickness. And that sickness prevents you from doing normal things like putting money away, right? Yeah. So like
it's like what Gainsey said. I don't know if you saw that clip of Gainsey in that stream. He was like, if you're a DJ, exactly what he said. If you're a DJ when you have like 5 figures, you're not suddenly not going to be a DJ when you have like 9 figures, right? And you're still gonna like try and gamble it. So
it's like half the WeTards chats like they're the best traders in the world in a bull market, and then they're mostly like going through like financial turmoil in a bear market. But in a bull market, they're the best that ever lived.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it takes an accountability partner too to say, hey, buddy, like touch the brakes.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's tough. Like I usually feel like that. One of my regrets is not selling like more NFTs in 2021. Like I just had so many NFTs like worth so much more money, and I was like,
what was your biggest UPNL drawdown on an NFT collection?
I mean, we used to own like about, between me and Mando, because we used to like collectively share our NFTs. We probably had like at the highs we had about $60 million worth of NFTs, like just NFTs, nothing else.
Wow.
And it's like 80% Bored Apes, and we just like, I think we bag held it that like a good like 50 or 60% drawdown. But for me, it was never really, it was UPL number.
Still made off with 8 figures in
exactly. And we got the like with Bored Apes, we had like the ApeCoin airdrop and all that kind of stuff. So we were able to monetize it, and then we sold.
Can you reflect back on your peak NFT portfolio net worth and like consider what you were saying to yourself to not sell? Like, what was your thesis at the very top of Bored Apes, looking at that number and saying this is in NFTs?
Man, it's embarrassing to say, but I genuinely, and bearing in mind this was like my first year in crypto, so I was like 6 or 7 months in. Like I was classic class of 21, like WAGMI and all that shit. But I actually genuinely believed NFTs were going to become like the next big thing in the whole world. Like I genuinely believed like it was going to be huge. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I know this is a lot of money, but I think this is all going to 10x because I think the whole world is going to like do NFT shit. And I think when everything crashed after that,
remove like NFTs in general, because I still think that thesis stands. Right? I still think that there's a solid concept behind that thesis, but Bored Apes specifically, like having that much concentrated in Bored Apes specifically, what was your thought process? That they were just the number one collection at the time, they're going to keep.
Yeah, I think so. Like we spoke to the team quite a lot, and I think we forget, like before Bored Apes, there wasn't really any of this idea of like Web3 IP or anything like that. And when they were doing it, it was pretty big and it was pretty new. And just felt like that was going to be like the big thing, and I don't know. In hindsight, it just seems so obvious. Like this is a bubble, and you should get out of it. And I think
was that bag you minted, or was that you just guys slammed with conviction?
Did what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Was that bag a mint bag that you guys like minted earlier, or did you guys slam it?
It was a mint bag that we sold half of basically, and then kept the other half. But it was like a we had conviction on it. Like we were in it from like quite low in, obviously half of it from mint, and like I thought they would do a token, I thought they'd build a game, I thought they'd do all the stuff, and because they had such a big like following and community, I thought they'd be really successful at it. And then when they raised capital, they raised like a seed round at $4 billion valuation, whatever it was. I was like, oh shit! Like,
what about that? Holy shit!
I invested in that, man. That was my first ever investment, and
oh man,
I'm probably down. I mean, I'm not upset because I made a lot of money at from that ecosystem, and I respect them and like what they're doing. I'm obviously very grateful for it because that definitely changed my life. But that was my first ticket. I was definitely like down from that valuation. But at that time, it seemed like they were, I think they were going to make it big. I think they could have as well, but they had so many side quests. They bought punks. They did, all this other stuff, and I think that's where it kind of went a bit wrong. It wasn't also just them as well. Like markets turned. NFTs were a bubble, everything just turned and imploded. I think that's when I realized like this whole space, other than Bitcoin, I don't know if anything really is truly like the next big thing. And everything's probably contained within a cycle. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a handful of things that really do make it, like punks are still worth quite a lot.
Yeah. And didn't you buy a zombie? Was that you?
Nah, every time a zombie or an alien trades, everyone says it's me, but they're just.
Well, I saw the Farouk post, so I saw it was you.
No, they're always trolling. They're trolling me. So.
Dude, that's like Stoic Savage.
Yeah.
Dude, we do the same thing to him with the alien punk.
Yeah. I'm getting constantly trolled there. So.
Right now, I'm telling you.
Can you like? I have a rare Pepe Nakamoto. Like, how come that's not worth more than everything? I don't understand why punks or apes. To me, that's like the NFT.
I have one too, and that is like, in my opinion, is like the grail of NFTs.
It's the grail.
It's like 2016.
What can I get one for right now?
Probably like
100 or less, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but 100K.
They're not on ETH, right?
It's on Counterparty. It's on Bitcoin.
I bought
the original rare Pepes.
Counterparty Bitcoin NFTs many months ago. I don't even know. Like I used what wallet was that? Start with an X, I think.
Yeah, there's a Counterparty wallet. I think.
You bought the fake rares, right?
Yeah, I think execution on the side of the marketing and the bridging was weird and didn't really catch people. Normally when there's a barrier to entry, you're like, I'm so early, but there was like too much of a barrier to entry where like people didn't even want to bother.
Yeah, you should get a Naka, bro. That's good.
Maybe
for the culture.
It's definitely for the culture. That I feel like I don't even really care if it goes up or down. It's more just like I think it's cool to be like, I own the first ever like Pepe artwork that's like on Bitcoin. Like, I think that's pretty cool, and it's like a fucking Nakamoto thing as well. Like I think that's pretty.
The owners list is insane. Like
how many are there? You guys want to watch me press my coffee?
There's 297 left, but I think like Jack owns one from Twitter. Like there's a bunch of billionaires, so it's a good group of people.
Yeah, it's definitely a good group for sure.
Do you have any punks left, or do you have a punk?
I've still got one punk. Yeah, I've still got one punk. Yeah. I really like punks. Like I like the art stuff. Like I feel like for me, I own some NFTs, and for me, it's not. I don't just own them because like it's a trade, or I don't just own them because like I want it to go up in price. I own them because I actually kind of like it. Like I like the culture. I like it's a meme, I guess, but I like the art. So I'd love to, at the end of this cycle, like I think NFTs will go higher because at the end of the cycle, I definitely want to spend some of the money I've made on buying NFTs at some point. I kind of been waiting, and I'm worried I'm going to leave it too late. But I do think you'll have like, maybe not like 2021, but I think you'll have like a little bit of an NFT run because I don't think I'm the only one who's thinking like that. So
I mean, I want to get an autoglyph too. What's the floor on those?
Dude, you can get autoglyphs. I had one and I sold it recently just to ape into more coins, which was a good trade because the coins are up now and autoglyphs are down. But you could get probably get an autoglyph like below 100 ETH, I think, if you want to get an autoglyph. So there's definitely a few for sale.
Yeah, my goal. I want to get one of those. If I get the knockout autoglyph in a punk, I'll be happy.
That's like a holy trinity, I think.
C-Phrase is still holding a lot of that stuff, right?
Yeah, I saw him last night. Actually, I'm pretty good buddies with him. Yeah, he owns a lot. I mean, he has some of the best like NFTs ever. I guess he has that 7-trait punk as well. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty insane. But yeah, he owns some really good shit. And the thing about him is like he bought all this stuff super early, so his cost basis on it is so low. Like, you know, he bought his 7-trait punk for what, like 80 grand or 90 grand or something.
Yeah,
and like God knows, I don't even know how much do you think that's worth. The 7-trait punk.
It's worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a few years. Last time I saw him, we were in
Tulum.
Boom, yeah, that was fun.
Oh, nice.
We were in Tulum, and I think he was trying to fight like a 70-year-old man. And they're like, that's C-Phrase.
That's funny.
We were spending way too much money partying back then.
Yeah, we were. That was so silly.
That's funny.
I had fun though.
Yeah, Tulum was great. I don't like Tulum anymore though. It's kind of too played out, too dirty.
I don't party anymore, man. I think we figured that one out.
Says the guy was in space a week and a half ago.
Yeah, but space isn't partying; it's culture. It's like
me neither, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm too old for that shit now. Just sounds lame, but like I'd rather wake up the next day and like feel good.
Dude, I went full health wellness retreat at this house. I got the sauna, the ice bath. I work out. I eat clean.
Yeah, you know, same.
Got to take care of ourselves as we get older. The crypto ages us pretty aggressively already.
You guys still training at all? Any more fights? Any more fights on the horizon?
Not for me, man.
I was supposed to fight in Vegas, and this month got canceled. And then they said there might be a fight in the Philippines in like 3 weeks.
Oh shit! Wow.
Rahul's trying to put it together, but I've been training like not that great. I've been kind of doing some pad work every day, but not for that long. Maybe like a half hour, and then I do some recovery. I try to walk 10,000 steps a day or do a little jog.
Yeah.
But you know how the boxing training is, man. It's crazy. So yeah, you gotta be ready. But but I want to fight again. I want to fight. Like they said, they might do something in Miami.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed it, right? It was a great process, right? I mean,
honestly, I've been a boxing fan for like many years. I fought before as well. Like the CFN one I did was like my 4th fight, but the last time I fought was when I was like 25 or whatever, so it was like a big gap. But honestly, I loved it. I'd love to do it again. It's tough to find. I feel like I can't fight unless I do a proper training camp. Like I'm not like a
you got to do it that way. You had good cardio.
Yeah, that's probably the fittest I've like ever been in my life, and I was age 35. So I definitely had the cardio. The problem is I basically sort of almost tore my calf like 2 weeks before the fight.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really like bounce in and out, and obviously the guy had like massive reach on me. So the only thing I could do is like fucking go toe to toe and just throw more punches than he did, and that was like the only possible way I could win, which is kind of why
you watch his fight. Ponzi like spazzed out for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, basically.
It was fun, man.
And then he caught me. He just caught me with like the cleanest hook on my jaw. And the funny thing is that the guy that I trained with, this Bulgarian guy, he used to like he's like some European champion. He used to like box with the Bulgarian army, and like he told me the story that one time he like broke both of his hands, and his lieutenant or whatever was like, "You still got to go fight in this like army tournament," and he ended up winning it like with 2 broken hands. So he's very much like I don't care if you're in pain, you still have to go through with it. But we did these drills where he'd make me spin around, so I was like super dizzy, and then I'd go in and spar someone who hadn't spun around. And I guess the idea was like it's to like mimic how you would feel if you got like properly hit.
It's partially true.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous too. But like, so when I got smacked in the face and my ears were ringing, I was like, oh shit! Like I've been here before. I kind of know what to do. But had it not been for that, I would have like for sure like gone down or just crumbled. But yeah, he's a great. I still been training now. Like I still spar every week basically.
Hell yeah!
I kind of like kept the training up, but I don't think I'm like fight fit. But
where are you at? Are you in California or where are you?
I've sort of been in between places really. Like
oh no.
Yeah, I've been was in the Caribbean for a bit. I was in Asia for a bit as well. Still come back to London, go back to London sometime. So, yeah, kind of been all around really. I think I just left London last year because it was just kind of got a bit shit really. So,
did you ever go to Bali at all or no?
Yeah, I've been there a few times. I was there earlier this year. Just have a few friends there.
You check out the fight clubs there? So I usually train at Soma Fight Club.
No, I need to, man. I would love. That's definitely on my list of things to do. I definitely need to.
There's like a great group of guys there. In fact, if we fight, like, say we fight in like December or something, if you want, like, I have a villa out there. We can stay there for like, I usually will stay there like the last 3 weeks before a fight.
Yeah,
and they have some like really high level guys there to train with. And then
that's nice.
It's like the best detox ever. Then you fly to wherever we're gonna fight. It's fun.
Yeah. That's what I need. That's what I need to do at some point. I think I'd love to do that. That or Thailand or something. Like I love to, because you've done some like MMA stuff as well, right? Did you do karate combat?
I did the one karate combat fight. I think that was a more scary experience than boxing because the glove sizes are so small.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to continue doing the IFC. I talked to because I was trying to get a fight. I wanted to win the belt in karate combat and then have the belts for CFN. And it seems as though like they might do some more IFC fights or they might not. The main president guy like stepped down. So I don't know if they're trying to do it, but I basically like, I don't really like fighting for us because it's fucking scary. But that being said, like I'm 1-0 in karate combat. If they give me like a title fight, I'm willing to fight. There's like one guy that's like 2-0. He's like some Russian dude that Barney fought.
Yeah.
And the guy could fight. I think he's probably a favorite against me, but like I have a shot. So I'd rather see if I get that belt. But for whatever reason, they won't offer me the fight. So I'm trying to get it.
Shit. I think Ponzi's back in. I was going to be back in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thing about karate combat is like at your weight, if you get hit and with like basically gloves, which are not even gloves.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal, right? Like I don't know if I'd ever do it or not because maybe at my weight it's not that bad, but
it's not as bad at your weight, and like it's really up to you. Like some people say like it's more damage to take a bunch of hits with boxing gloves than take a couple of hits with like 4-ounce gloves than for your brain. But I will say like the last couple of fights when I got hit, I feel a little bit more than I ever have. I'm used to getting like the best punch for some guy and be like, all right, well go fuck yourself. But the last couple of times like I felt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like karate combat, when I had the 4-ounce glove, I would look at the glove, look at the guy's face, look at the glove. I was like, dude, this guy's fucked. Like, you know, like if I hit this guy once, it's like over, you know?
Yeah.
So that's wild.
It's body shots as well, though, man. Like if you get like caught in the ribs or whatever with a 4-ounce glove, like that is piercing. Like,
oh, liver shots, the worst. I used to spar Gabe Green. He just had a UFC fight last week. He won, thank God. He was like in a triangle and he picked the fucking guy up and shoved him on his head. It was like the coolest thing. I was going ape shit. But yeah, I used to spar these guys with 4-ounce gloves and like they would hit me in the liver. Like another UFC fighter, Ozzy Diaz, like I used to train him for my first fight with ice bags. Like this guy like would spar me for like 20 minutes straight. And like it just hit me in the liver a bunch of times. And like finally, like after like 4 or 5 months, like 2 weeks before I was supposed to fight ice bags, like he hit me in the liver like 4 times, and I was like, yeah, fuck you, bro. Like, you didn't drop me, blah, blah, blah. Like 2 hours later, I was in the ER, like pissing blood.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So it's like
those shots, you don't feel the pain until like afterwards in those shots.
Oh, it was insane.
They're brutal. Like, they're painful for sure.
But I think for anyone in crypto or in general, like we live like high pace, high intensity lives. It's good. That one good outlet is exercise.
Yeah.
For guys that are nuts like us, like boxing gets that high sensation that we're looking for, as opposed to like doing drugs or doing other stupid shit that, you know, fucks us over. You know what I mean? So it's a good outlet for people that are listening if they want to get into that stuff. You know,
I agree, man. Like every time I like come back from sparring or whatever, I just have like a good day and whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
It makes a difference, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Joe Rogan said that, you know, he's like, if I challenge myself every day and get stuff done, like I don't feel like a piece of shit today. Like I feel like I did something, you know?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things, like if you like trading crypto, you have to like a bit of pain, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, everyone loses money, everyone gets rugged, whatever. or you like that risk or that thrill. I think boxing is very, very similar. It's just the physical version of it, and maybe not everyone has the ability to take like psychological pain and physical pain. Like it's like you need like to be like a different sort of animals to take the physical pain, but it's very similar to me. Like for me, it's like you guys probably feel the same, but like sometimes when I get punched in the face, I'm a bit like, oh yeah, I really needed that. Like I've been missing that feeling for a while. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird thing to say, but sometimes I feel like that when I lose money on something, when I get rugged on something. It's like, oh yeah, I kind of needed that for a while.
So speaking of rugged, are you like in the trenches? Like, are you firing at micro caps in the trenches on Solana?
Not really, man. Like I haven't really done that well in like the trenches just because I've been so busy on other stuff. I just feel like I've just been either late to stuff or I haven't been able to pull my money out of stuff quick enough because I haven't been focusing, you know?
Yeah.
I think if I was like just trenches, had all the fucking screens up and everything, I think I could do well, but just really been busy on like all the rec stuff and everything. So I just don't have, I kind of just stopped trench trading because I just didn't have, someone would tell me a coin, but yeah, I'm in, I'd buy it, it'd go up like 200%, but oh, sick. And then I look again and suddenly it's like a rug. So yeah, it's been tough for me to keep up with it because I do think, especially now, it's like it's super competitive, right? Like we're talking about how easy it was just to come into this space and trade. Now it's like much harder because there's so many people doing it and it's so sophisticated and you're competing with people who are good and you're competing with bots and everything. So
pooling's changing. It's like when you used to trade, you know, crypto back in 2017. Like when I first started trading crypto, it was really you're trading spot pairs on really low latency piece of shit exchanges, and so like it was super inefficient, and there wasn't much competition. But like the turn of that bull market, now all of a sudden you have super interest from real funds, right? With tooling and teams and funding. So now you're head to head, and it becomes a much more efficient market. And then I think that's NFTs were the same thing in the beginning. They were super inefficient, and it was so much fun because it was just really PvP, super PvP, and it was a proper game of speculation. And then Blur kind of changed that, and a few other products changed that for everybody. And now you're seeing that in the trenches, right? You have a sophistication of tooling that's being rolled out that kind of changes just click and shoot, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's not really like my kind of market, I think. If I was really hell bent on making money and that's what I wanted to do, then yeah, like I think you can do it really well. But just kind of stop being.
No, it's a real grind to be doing.
It's a grind, yeah.
There's kids out there who are hustling it hard and they know their edge, and that's just what they do. You know, that's not. I do it for fun. I would say it's probably a total of 2 to 5% of my portfolio where I fuck around with that kind of stuff, and I just love the edge. I just love the itch of firing in the trenches, and, you know, being right and being early. It's fun to me. So I don't have a company to run like you.
Yeah. It's maybe one day I'll get back in properly, but I kind of like what I'm doing now. Like I've just done trading for like most of my life, and I just felt like
sorry, I don't really know your background pre-crypto. What if you guys already touched on it? Feel free to
no, it's all good. Like I used to be a trader. Like I worked at Barclays Capital, worked at an investment bank for about 10 years, like in a traded high yield and distressed credit and credit derivatives. So I've been in a trading seat like my whole life, pretty much. And I started trading stocks, penny stocks and stuff when I was like 16. So it's just something I've always done and always liked doing. Yeah, man. Like penny stock days of like when I was of like 2006, 2007. It's like no different to what CT is now. Like I was on this fucking internet forums and shit, and people like making up rumors. And I was telling Eric, first thing I bought a stock that was up 1800% in a week. I literally bought the top of it because someone said it was going to get bought by Coca-Cola. I believed all the rumors, and then averaged all the way down, and then I ended up losing like 99%. And I still own it. I never sold it. Like I still own this fucking thing.
Really?
It's like 20 years I've held this thing. It's so funny because they merged with another company, then they had like a stock split and they demerged. So I own like this other company now as well. And in like my fucking OG stock like broking account, it's so funny.
So do you still swing traditional finance positions, or are you just like a portfolio rebalance kind of guy?
No, I definitely don't swing TradFi positions. I actually had no equities for a long time until April this year. April this year when everything crashed. That's the first time I bought stocks in like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
But other than that, I just felt like I've always felt like I have a lot of high risk in crypto, and then I just have cash because.
What stocks are you in?
It's pretty. I'm just in this like managed fund that is basically a Nasdaq, but has like a 25% allocation to robotics, which I'm quite bullish on. So it's nothing crazy. It's not no single stocks or anything like that. But just when everything nuked in April, I was like, this is just like one of those opportunities you just have to buy, really. Yeah.
Have you looked into that Figure company at all? Like, I know like Andrew Kang's trying to sell some of his ticket on that. Like,
yeah, I've looked into that and read about it. I mean, he seems pretty bulled up in this whole robotic stuff, and like he's had some good calls and some bad calls, but generally, I think he's like he's a pretty smart guy on stuff. So I
might buy a part of a ticket off him because he's trying to get rid of some of it. So
yeah.
Want to see what he thought.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting for sure. I do think it's interesting.
He's a very high conviction bull, which is funny because do you guys remember what happened about 30 days ago when he went 100 mil long on like 50x?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I just accidentally scrolled by my old tweet that mentioned that. And if he had opened that position an hour later, he would have never gotten liquidated.
Yeah.
And he would be up insane.
Insane.
But he was within 2 hours of the absolute bottom from the start of this run that we just had, which is
wild, isn't it?
And it came out of nowhere. It was really him just seeing a headline. I think Trump had said something that day, like it's a good time to buy stocks. And he was just like full max conviction, fired, a few $1 million. If he had lowered the leverage or he was just 2 hours later, he would have longed 100 million at the Pico bottom, which was insane to think about. He's really good at max conviction spots. And this whole robotics thing, I think, is pretty epic because if he's right, he's going to be so fucking wealthy.
Yeah, I think so. Because that's like proper, like early stage stuff.
Very early.
Like, at low valuation. So he's a smart guy. Like, I know people troll him a bit for some of the shit that he says, and sometimes he's like,
if you don't have the peanut gallery chirping you, then you're not going hard.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like you have to be a certain level of insane to get to that point, and of course that comes with people calling you insane, right? Like it's inevitable. If you're not getting that, then you're not doing something right.
Yeah, I think that's right. It'll be interesting to see how he does in that, but I think I got a feeling he's just going to make a shitload of money on it, basically.
I agree. It's interesting to like executing at that level and allocating at that level in such a niche early industry. Like, how do you place? How do you size your bets? But
yeah.
I mean, he already basically did. He's probably made like a 7x.
Already has, on size.
It's Series B, so he's trying to sell me some of it and then hedge out and then keep some. I'm sure,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, huh? So, what do we think? Are we going to keep going higher from here?
Look, I think we blow off. I'm sure there's going to be lots of volatility, but tops don't form like this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think I've probably at this point watched 15,000 hours of Bitcoin price action over the last 8 years, and I've never seen a top be gentle. It's never just like a casual cruise. Yeah, you need something to break in either direction.
So we'll head back down and then go back up again.
I don't know. I'm not really good at predicting. I'm good at reacting.
Mm-hmm.
That's my edge. Is like watching the tape and then reacting to the tape. So right now I'm still long from 104, and I don't. I've taken off about 70% by now.
Can you help me understand? Maybe help some of the people who are listening understand what's going on with like the bond market and like Japan and
OSF and answer. He's the TradFi guy. I'm the
Can you help me understand this? And like, does that mean the market's like the dollar's going to be worthless? The market's just going to go up, or does that mean the market's going to get affected, go down? Like, how does this? Explain this to me if you can.
Yeah, the bond market's been tricky because, like, number one, China owns like a shit ton of US treasuries, and I think when you had the tariff wars, they were probably using that as a weapon against the US.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is that everyone's had this like massive yen carry trade on, basically, where they've sort of like arbed the difference in borrowing rates between the Japanese interest rates and the US interest rates, and a lot of that was starting to unwind last summer. I don't know if you guys remember, but last summer was when treasuries really started to blow out, and we've seen more of an unwind here as well. So for me, like, I know people talk about like the US debt, and people talk about maybe like Powell's not going to cut anymore and all this kind of stuff. But for me, I think the bond market is moving based on technicals. It's an unwind of this massive trade people have had on for years, where it's sort of been like this like really, really high capital, low return arb trade. And at the end of the day, like in the last 3 years, people seem to think, oh, interest rates go higher, it's really bad for risk, it's really bad for markets. But in the last 3 years, we've seen interest rates go a lot higher, and we've seen equities go a lot higher, and we've seen all risk assets go a lot higher. So we're in this position, and it's mainly because of AI, where yes, like it's generally bad for risk assets if interest rates are too high, but because there's been such a massive technological boom in the AI market, that's offset the impact of interest rates. So I'm not that worried about rates, and I think people keep saying, oh, look at 30-year, look at 10-year, but the market has shown and proven that it can handle these levels of rates. Now, if they go really out of hand, then yeah, that could be a concern, and maybe that's the worry. But I don't think they will. You know, like the Fed is in a great position where markets are strong, the US economy is strong, and despite what people say, and inflation is low, despite what people say. So if they need to react, and interest rates are already high, so if they need to react, they've got so much cushion to do so, compared to 2022 when interest rates were basically zero and they had no cushion, right? So I think we're in like a really good spot fundamentally from a macro standpoint. And I think if something goes wrong, the Fed has a ton of bullets it can use to react. So I think we're in a good spot. I'm not worried there.
Is the TLDR on the Japanese bond market essentially a carry trade gone sour and people caught off sides trying to unwind without damage?
Yeah, it's not that it's gone sour. I think people have made money on it over a lot of years, but it's just that it's not in your favor anymore. It's less in your favor, so now it's being unwound. But, right, chaps. I've got to bounce actually because I have a call now on the hour.
If you make that Bitcoin conference, let me know. I'll probably head out there because I think Iceback's gonna be out there Monday to Wednesday. So and he's gonna bring Platinum Perry with him too. So.
Oh, nice.
If you come out, maybe we'll go train. There's a gym out there called Bones Adams Gym.
Yeah.
Friend of mine.
Yeah.
So if you want to come down, we'll get a couple of days of training and kick it.
Yeah, awesome. I will. I'll see if I can make it. I don't know if I can.
And when are you having Ben Lamb? When are you having Ben Lamb on your show? Because I'm gonna have him on. Next week.
We had Ben Lamb this week. We had him yesterday.
Okay, I'm gonna have him on next week. Probably to talk about Yi and the World Series of Poker and some other stuff. Ponzi, you want to play the main event this year?
Yeah, I'm down. It was a pleasure talking to you, brother.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, boys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
I'm down.
All right, Ricky, I'll hit you later.
Wait. Will you stake me for the World Series of Poker?
You're making $1 million a week trading. What are you gonna stake me?
This guy thinks I'm rich.
You are rich. Look at your house.
Hey man, it's called the power of leverage.
If Hype hits $70, I'm gonna move next door to you.
I think Hype hits $70, bro.
And then your mom's gonna help me rent it out.
If Hype hits $70, then Flood becomes a billionaire.
As he should. He's an ethical crypto guy, which is rare in this space, and he's very smart.
Yeah.
So good for him. But yeah, let's try to get him on next week. So what do you think? You hit him up or something?
Yeah, of course.
What are you gonna do? You have any trades right now? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm long Moodang, Pepe, and Bitcoin, but I'm not super confident. I'm really kind of just riding Rookie's conviction. I closed a lot of risk today and was going to go flat, and he's chirping me on the side, or he's just like,
what do you think Bitcoin's going to go to?
You won 125 today,
and then pull back or what?
I don't know. He's like giga bullish right now. I'm like, I'm happy with what I made in the last few days. So I want to de-risk off into the end of this move. Like, I'm always the guy to take risk off early, not late. Yeah. I think he's the one to take risk off late.
All right. Well, anything else for everybody, or are we good for the day?
I think we're good, baby.
All right. I'll probably try to do a trenches talk tomorrow with Pone Lord unless he's still sick. If not, we'll see you next week. We'll probably have Ben Lamb on, and then if we can get Flood on, that would be great.
Sick.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Later.